First at 9 this Monday, the 28th of April 2025. Dialectics. Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe defends MP Chamara Sampath over the withdrawal of funds from the Provincial Council's deposits when questioned by the Bribery Commission. Says the MP acted in accordance with the law. The cleanup. Over 600 tons of waste collected following the conclusion of the exposition of the sacred tooth relic. So Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka welcomes over 800,000 visitors in the first 4 months of the year.
Cine Campus Open Day. මේ මාස 3 වෙනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට Cine Campus පරිශ්‍රයේදී.
From Derana. This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Dirisinghe joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Brought to you by the only Sri Lankan media network to rise to the pinnacle across all media platforms. Recognized as the best by every survey and beloved by the people. Now in your top story tonight, the haphazard disposal of waste by devotees who venerated the hallowed tooth relic of the Lord Buddha at the special exposition still continues to bother the city of Kandy. In the aftermath of the sacred exposition, 600 tons of garbage were collected. The Municipal Council Commissioner of Kandy claims that steps will be taken to incinerate the waste with assistance from the Colombo Municipal Council. Hundreds of thousands of Buddhist devotees in Sri Lanka and around the world flocked to the ancient city of Kandy to venerate the sacred tooth relic of the Buddha displayed at a rare special exposition. The special exposition, which was held after a hiatus of 16 years, was inaugurated on the 18th of April. After 10 days of public viewing, the exposition was called off at 5:30 p.m. yesterday. Marking the end of this religiously significant event, Chief Prelates of the Malvathu and Asgiri chapters issued a joint media statement today along with the Chief Custodian of the Sacred Tooth Relic, Diyawadna Nileme, Pradeep Nilangadala. The statement officially declared the successful conclusion of the Sacred Tooth Relic's exposition, organized to bless all human beings across the world. The Chief Prelates and the Chief Custodian of the hallowed relic extended their deep gratitude to all those who aided the authorities in this sacred endeavor. Subsequently, cleanup programs were initiated to clear out the garbage haphazardly disposed throughout the sacred city of Kandy. Contributing to these efforts, Derana, together with KIU University and the Kandy Municipal Council, implemented a cleanup campaign. Afterwards, garbage weighing 606 tons were dispatched to the Guhagoda dumping site for disposal. The Municipal Commissioner of Kandy, Indika Besinghe, and Namal Dhammika Disanayaka, the head of the Solid Waste Management Division of the Kandy Municipal Council, were seen at the site inspecting activities.
අපි කල්පනා කරේ කොළඹ නගර සභාවේ තියෙන ඒ 1000ක භාවිතා කරලා මේ වෙන් කිරීම නොකරන ලද කසල ටික අවසන් කරගන්නට අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Unfortunately, from the 17th onwards, garbage was not separated. We all thought that the garbage would be disposed separately. Accordingly, by 9 p.m. yesterday, 606 tons of garbage were collected. Of those 606 tons, 102 tons were plastic bottles and polythene. The remaining approximately 480 tons of garbage have not been separated. It is very difficult to separate all this garbage. Our laborers are extremely exhausted. In about another 3 days' time, we intend to wash, clean up and sterilize the streets. In the meantime, authorities initiated a lost and found service in a bid to return all possessions lost or misplaced by devotees during the special exposition of the tooth relic. The service, which was effective today, was set up at the premises of the Joy Boat service on the banks of the Kandy Lake. Those hoping to reclaim their lost possessions tomorrow are required to produce a valid form of identification and evidence of ownership. Now, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe today provided a statement to the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption regarding his comments on the allegations of financial irregularities against the now arrested parliamentarian Chamara Sampath Dasanayaka. Later at a press conference, the former president stated that he had explained to the Commission that withdrawing government funds from fixed deposits is not an offence.
Opposition MP Chamara Sampath Dasanayake was arrested on March 27th on charges of financial irregularities allegedly involving the withdrawal of funds from state banks to purchase school bags for preschool children. The purported mismanagement of public funds allegedly occurred when the MP served as the Chief Minister of the Uva Provincial Council in 2016. Subsequently, the Bribery Commission filed 3 cases against him at the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court. In one matter, a complaint has been made that after state-owned bank rejected his request to release funds for school bags, MP Dasanayake withdrew 6 fixed deposits belonging to the Uva Provincial Council without proper authorization, causing a loss of 1.73 million rupees to the government. However, former President Wickremesinghe, in a statement issued on April 10th regarding the incident, said that MP Chamara Sampath had withdrawn the fixed deposits in accordance with the circular issued by the then government. It was during my tenure as Prime Minister that the relevant circular was issued with my full knowledge, stating that funds of provincial councils cannot be deposited in fixed accounts and must either be spent within the same year or returned to the Treasury. The current investigations are being carried out based on that background. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption subsequently ordered the former president on 2 occasions to appear for questioning regarding his statement. However, he requested an alternative date. Accordingly, former President Wickremesinghe arrived at the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption at approximately 9:30 am today to provide his statement. The former president spent approximately 3 hours giving his statement before the Commission and departed around 12:30 p.m. Later, he addressed a press conference and shared his views.
අපි සිංහල අවුරුදු ගන්නවනේ මේ මම දන්නේ ආණ්ඩුවේ පැත්තෙන් සිංහල අවුරුද්දේම තියෙනවද කියලා.
We celebrate the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, although I am not sure whether the government does so officially. Additionally, my lawyer was abroad at the time. He sent a letter to the Director General of the Commission stating that he would not be available until the 28th. Despite this, I was sent a second letter requesting me to appear before the Commission on the 25th. I was surprised by this as it had already been informed to the Director General of the Commission, High Court Judge Dasanayake, that my lawyer would not be in Colombo until the 27th. I also raised an objection regarding the fact that letters sent by the Commission were being shown to others. When I was asked who had seen the letters, I referred to the President's speech in Batiklo, where he said they have asked him to come to the Commission on the 15th. Now I saw a letter addressed to the Commission saying he is celebrating New Year. This clearly indicates that the President had seen the letter. He cannot deny that. It appears that the President is receiving letters from the Commission. Nevertheless, I answered all the questions put to me. When money is spent, it contributes to the economy. Economic growth only happens when money circulates. If funds are instead placed in fixed deposits, there is no contribution to economic activity. Therefore, we must operate according to this economic principle. When questioned further, I stated that if this logic is followed, then cases should also be filed against the Secretary to the Treasury for not lending money at higher interest rates in PETA. I emphasized that the offence is not withdrawing money from fixed deposits, but rather placing money into such deposits unnecessarily. Thus, I did not see any wrongdoing in this situation. The law also supports this view. If funds are allocated to you for spending and instead you deposit that money without using it for its intended purpose, that could result in criminal proceedings. I explained all this to the Commission to the best of my ability. As far as I am concerned, there is no issue here.
Now, meanwhile, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa drew attention to a wide range of unkept promises made by the president-led NPP government and claimed that lies and deceit cannot be the foundation of a thriving nation, a beautiful life. Speaking at a meeting in Matale, the opposition leader urged caution and advised his political aides to not be duped politically for a third consecutive time. Another public rally of the Samagi Janabalawegaya ahead of the upcoming local government elections was held in Matale under the patronage of party leader and leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa. In the lead up to the presidential and general elections, the NPP confidently urged the people to entrust the nation to President Anura Dissanayake. Anura took over the country to bring about a thriving nation, a beautiful life. How did he assume power? Did he not promise to provide fuel to you at cost? Is that the price of fuel you pay today? They claimed that the compensation granted by previous governments for crop damage was insufficient. They said that the compensation per head must be over 100,000 rupees. Now farmers have neither the 100,000 rupees nor the previous compensation. They said they would implement plans to eliminate poverty. The truth is they haven't even thought about it. They said they would renegotiate the IMF deal. They deceived the public through that too. Can these lies inspire a thriving nation? Will beautiful lives be created through these lies? The public were deceived once at the presidential election. They were then deceived one more time at the parliamentary polls. Are you ready to be deceived again at an election as we prepare to elect our local government councillors? At the impending local government election, the people of this country will certainly defeat these lies. I urge the people to not be ensnared by this version of deceitful politics once again.
සිනෙක් කැම්පස් ඕපන් ඩේ මැයි මස 3 වැනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට සිනෙක් කැම්පස් පරිශ්‍රයේදී.
Now, meanwhile, leader of the Sarvajana Balaya Alliance, parliamentarian Dilith Jayavira, asserts that the narrow mindset of the incumbent government must be altered in order to develop this country. Speaking at a public meeting today, Jayavira also raised concerns over the official ministerial residences which remain vacant and urged the government to take measures to grant them for state sector employees.
Another public meeting of the Sarvajana Balaya Alliance aimed at the impending local government election was held in Pujapitiya Divisional Secretariat in Kandy today under the patronage of party leader, parliamentarian Dilith Jayavira. The National People's Power secured 159 seats in parliament at the recent general election. The majority of them are professors or have doctorates. Prior to being elected to parliament, they even claimed of earning a substantial income. I don't know if they will ever develop the country, but the salaries of all MPs were credited to a single account to be utilized for public services. They are currently receiving an allowance of 80,000 rupees. These include doctors who have earned a salary of at least 700,000 rupees and attorneys who made 1 million rupees from employment. Now this has brought down to 80,000 rupees. This is the version of their party, which is the retrenchment from the position. They are trying to do the same to this country. The official residences granted for ministers now remain vacant, with some in a neglected state. They are not being maintained at the moment. At least the government should be implement measures to provide them to the public sector employees who are pushing hard to perform their roles. However, they are not doing that even. Neither are they granting them to the public, nor are they using them. Even in other least developed countries, they have granted ministerial quarters in order to maintain their national pride and to develop the personalities of their ministers. This is a very narrow-minded concept which does not benefit anyone. I hope that the general public will gain the strength and determination to fix this in the upcoming election.
Now, a number of reforms, including the installation of GPS and CCTV systems in buses and making seatbelts mandatory for bus drivers, have been proposed during a stakeholder meeting. The Minister of Transport stated that a number of important decisions were reached regarding improvements to the public transport sector at the meeting. The decisions include implementation of integrated timetable on Putlam route, regularizing the installation of GPS and CCTV for buses, and conducting random drug and alcohol tests on bus drivers, among various others. Meanwhile, Minister Ratnayake emphasized that the preliminary work related to the implementation of these decisions should be prepared promptly. He also instructed officials to regularly monitor the progress related to the implementation of the decisions. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga informed the Election Commission of Sri Lanka via a letter that her name and image have been used without her permission for election propaganda activities. As the local government election draws closer, let's take a look at the latest political thoughts.
The office of former President Chandrika Kumaratunga issuing a communique to the Election Commission of Sri Lanka states that certain candidates of the United People's Freedom Alliance contesting under the symbol of the chair for the Attanagalla Pradesh Sabha at the 2025 local government election have been distributing leaflets containing her image along with those of former parliamentarians Lasanta Alagiyawanna and Sarana Gunawardena without her permission. Kumaratunga emphasized that she had previously informed the candidates contesting under the chair symbol in Attanagalla and other areas not to use her image for any audio-visual promotional activities. Thus, former President has urged the Election Commission to immediately inform the relevant party leaders to halt this activity and to take the necessary action promptly. What will we do next? The 10th executive president will be Ranil Wickremesinghe from the UNP. If he came to power with just one seat, won't we achieve even more without a seat? We are aiming for a strong result in the 2025 local election and ultimately to make Sajith Premadasa our president. If we can make him president next month, we will do it. We have gained great public appeal by contesting under the symbol of the elephant. Many voters who supported the NPP-backed government in previous elections say they will now vote for us. People believe that only Ranil Wickremesinghe can govern the country properly. The importance of voting for the NPP-backed government in the last two elections will become clear over time as the country gets back on track. What we request is to be officially given the responsibility to continue what we have been doing voluntarily. We do not want a thief to take the seat. It is not right to label anyone as a thief. It is wrong to think that everyone outside your own team is corrupt. There are many good people. Of course, there are culprits who must be punished. That's why people vote for change. But do not brand everyone as a thief.
Now here's a look at local news across the island in brief.
The Colombo High Court has imposed a death sentence upon 5 individuals who were involved in a murder of a 21-year-old youth which took place in Mattakulia, Colombo. Another 2 individuals who were 18 years old at the time of the murder were given life sentences. In the meantime, the Sri Lanka Navy launched another operation to search for the remains of an elderly woman who was brutally murdered by her husband and her son-in-law in Grand Pass, Colombo. The suspects were arrested consequent to a complaint regarding the elderly woman's disappearance on the 22nd of April. Subsequently, the suspects had confessed to the murder during interrogations. The criminal act was caught on a nearby CCTV camera. Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal has dismissed a writ petition filed by former State Minister Prasanna Ranawira seeking an order to prevent his arrest in connection to an illegal property sale case in Kelaniya. A Court of Appeal bench comprising Acting President of the Court of Appeal Mohammad Lafar Tahir and Court of Appeal Justice Priyantha Fernando dismissed the petition. In other local news, a parcel was left behind by a foreigner at the Russian embassy in Colombo, creating panic among the staff this afternoon. As tensions ran high, the bomb disposal squad was deployed to the premises along with a team of the Special Task Force and officers attached to the Cinnamon Gardens police. Afterwards, the parcel containing a laptop was taken for further investigations by the Cinnamon Gardens police.
Welcome back. Now in your business news, scaling up an ambitious target of securing 3 million tourist arrivals for the year, Sri Lanka has so far attracted over 800,000 tourists from the 1st of January to the 24th of April of this year. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority revealed that 1 in 5 tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka in April were from India. According to the latest figures from the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, a total of 144,320 tourist arrivals were recorded between the 1st and the 24th of April this year. The highest number of tourist arrivals for the month of April so far were recorded on the 12th of April, with 7,585 tourists visiting the island. India continues to be Sri Lanka's top source market with 29,763 tourists visiting the country, while the United Kingdom trails in second with 15,501 British tourists visiting the country between the 1st and the 24th of April. A significant number of tourist arrivals were also reported from the Russian Federation, Germany, Australia and France. Now in other business news, the Colombo Stock Exchange commenced the week in positive note today as a result of price gains in counters such as John Keel's Holdings, CT Holdings and Dialog Asiata. The benchmark all-share price index closed 0.44% higher at 15,811.47, while the more liquid S&P Sri Lanka 20 gained 0.45% to close at 4,653.39. Market turnover was 2.7 billion rupees, with the capital goods sector being the top contributor to turnover, followed by the diversified financial sector. Foreign participation in the market activity remained at subdued levels, with foreigners closing as net sellers, offloading shares worth 101 million rupees. Up next, we have Minal Wickremage from Capital Alliance in our next segment, Economic Outlook.
Domestically, the weekly average weighted prime lending rate, or the AWPR, for the week ending 25th April declined by 5 basis points to 8.39% compared to the previous week. The average weighted call money rate is slightly to 7.99% from 7.96% at the end of the prior week. Meanwhile, total outstanding market liquidity showed a significant surplus of 120.76 billion rupees by 25th April. Taking a look at the government securities market, yield rates of both treasury bills and treasury bonds remained broadly stable during the week. Additionally, secondary market activity improved, with total transaction volumes in treasury bills and bonds increasing by 57%.
With that, here's a look at today's exchange rates. That's all the news we have for you tonight. For further updates, stay in touch with Ada Derana, the nation's most trusted news source. Thank you. Have a great night.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit adaderana.lk.